Hey friends, welcome to the vid, and in this vid I'm going to talk about how to know if you're doing your DPDR and anxiety recovery correctly. Are you actually doing the right things? Because what you're doing is going to dictate how long you are in DPDR. Are you doing things which are moving you forward, keeping you stuck where you are, or worse, making you go backwards? So I'm going to cover all of that, and not only that, I'm also going to share with you how you can measure your progress in a metric which is actually helpful to you, because I guarantee you that right now you're not following this metric and you're tracking your progress in the wrong ways. And if you are new to the channel, then welcome. My name is Dan and I help people recover from DPDR and anxiety using either one-on-one coaching or the Freedom course. And if you are a subscriber, then welcome back. I know that when you're going through DPDR recovery, and for you right now, that recovery and how do you get out of this is basically the primary chief question that you are asking yourself all the time. How do I actually know that I'm getting better? How do I know that I'm on the right path? How do I know that what I'm actually doing is bringing me to that recovery, and when am I actually going to get there? There are different stages to DPDR recovery. The first stage is completely freaking out, not really knowing what is going on and being tremendously scared. The second stage is to do research to understand what's happening and to understand how to recover. And the third stage is to begin to put that stuff in motion and actually begin your recovery journey. To know if you're on the right path, you need to think about what stage are you in right now. And so many people spend too much time unnecessarily in DPDR because they get stuck in the second one, which is doing research. So I know why you do this, and a lot of people do this because researching, what you're trying to do is you're trying to find this special thing which resonates you, this special supplement or medication or mantra or way of thinking or whatever it is that is going to work for you because it worked for somebody else. And the next question you might ask yourself is, well, how do I know what works for me? And look, truthfully, there's no exact science to this. There's no definitive sort of things you have to do to reach recovery, because everybody's journey is different. And an example of that is somebody, and I know people who have been through this, have said meditation actually really helped them. On the other hand, I've had other people say to me, meditation's awful because it just makes them sit there trapped with their thoughts. So what you need to do is during your research, you need to collect all these things that do work for you. And if they don't work for you, that's okay, throw them out. It's a little bit trial and error. So keep the things which are working and take away, stop doing the things which aren't working. Another way to know that you're on the right path is to look at which areas of your life are you actually looking to improve right now. And what a lot of people do is they make the mistake of only focusing on one type of thing. And so, for example, somebody might say to me something like, look, I've cut out caffeine, I'm exercising again, I'm eating healthy, I'm taking supplements, and I'm doing all these healthy things for my body. But what's actually missing there is all the stuff that's going up on here. So when I'll ask people, they'll say that to me and I'll say, okay, so, what sort of mental stuff are you doing to help you? And they usually don't have anything to say. They might say something like, oh, I read a book, or, I write in my diary once a week or something like that. And so that is the missing key. And that is something that you've got to consider too. Are you only doing the physical stuff, or are you actually doing the mental stuff as well? Because what you need to understand is that all of this started up in the mind, and up in the mind is where all this is going to get fixed. Until you start doing that, then it's very, very likely that you're not actually going to see any progress whatsoever. So when you do those things, you know that you are going to be on the right road. So that sort of brings us to the question of, well, how do you actually track your progress? How do you know you're actually getting better? And I guarantee you right now you're doing it the wrong way. You're doing it based on how you feel, and you're doing it based on the intensity of your symptoms. And the reason that this is the wrong way is because you have zero control over how you feel, and you have zero control over the symptoms. So why would you base your progress, and why would you base your sort of advancement in your recovery, why would you base it on something that you literally have no control over? You really have to consider this, and it's really important. And sort of once you get your head around this, then it's going to make a lot of sense to you. And so what happens is that recovery is an up and down journey. And so for a few days you might feel better, and then for a few days you might feel even more better, but then a trigger or something might happen which will cause you to have a setback, which can bring you back to exactly how you felt right before all this began. And so if you're basing your progress based on how you feel, how do you think this is going to make you feel? You know, what do you think this is going to do for your motivation and for your sort of belief and knowledge that you're actually on the right path? It's not going to do anything. You're going to start questioning again, well, am I doing the right things? You know, if this isn't working for me, then what have I got to do? And then that leads you back to the research stage where you start looking for something else again. I'm going to tell you a metric that you can use which is 100% within your control. And it's an amazing metric to use for your recovery. And it's this: how are you responding to the thoughts and how are you responding to your symptoms? If you're consistently doing your best to respond in a healthy and a helpful way, then you are making progress, regardless of how you feel. If you're not doing that, then you're not making progress. And so what I really mean by that is, if you have a thought of, say, oh, I'm never going to recover, when that thought comes in, we're not talking about this initial thought. What do you do after this thought comes in? Do you believe it? Do you go, oh my God, you know, this is true, I'm not going to be able to recover? You know, or do you challenge it? Do you question it? You know, sort of what do you do in that moment? And if you consistently respond in the correct way, what this is going to do, it's going to start to get you in the habit of not following your thoughts and not believing them, and to start questioning them and to start challenging them. And this is really, really vital food for your mind. Remember, I was talking about all the mental stuff. This is a big part of that. Eventually you are going to start to feel better, and eventually the symptoms are going to start to diminish, and you are going to see that genuine progress and know that you're on the right path. Because remember, the symptoms and the thoughts, they all come from the stress and the anxiety and how you see the world and what you're thinking. If you are interested in knowing more about DPDR recovery, then book a free discovery call with me. It's completely free and there's no obligation whatsoever. And me and you can have a one-on-one chat about exactly what is going on with you and some of the things that you are doing. I'd love to be able to help you and have a chat with you, because I know how awful this is. So if you are interested, then go book. The link is in a pinned comment and also in the description of this video. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.